Hello. In this video, I'm going to give the basics of GeoGebra. I'm going to use a couple of documents. The first document is GeoGebra 101 handout, and the second document is the Quickstart guide from GeoGebra themselves. Okay, I'm over at geogebra.org. This is a great free online graphics tool for doing algebra and geometry. There are a number of versions of it these days, a number of apps. I like to use GeoGebra Classic. It seems to have all the features that I'm used to. So here I am, and you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, there's a couple of hamburger menus. I'll call this one the main hamburger menu. It has file, open, new, settings, and so on. And the other menu is the menu relative to the screen here, the background. So if I hit this grid, I can take away the grid. If I hit this axis, I can take away the axes. And I can do different things with the background. I'm going to just do a simple little example. Here are our tools up here. This is the point tool. This is the line, segment, and ray tool, vectors, and so on. This you might think of as the construct tool for constructing perpendiculars and parallels and so on. This might be called the polygon tool. This is for making circles. This one is for making various conic sections. This I call the measurement tool. You can measure angles, measure slope, area. This is the transformation tool for reflecting, rotating, translating. This is kind of a generic catch-all. You can make sliders, you can import images, you can put text on your screen, make buttons, and so on. So I'm going to just put a couple of points on here. Before I put points on here, I want to look at the 4 big keys on my GeoGebra 101 handout. The first big key is to construct something. You click what you want on the toolbar at the top first, then read the screen, and it'll tell you what to do. So if I jump back to my GeoGebra here, a point is going to be very easy to do. Notice I'm hovering here, and at the bottom of the screen, it says select a position or point or function. So there's point A, and I'm going to continue to put another point B there. To get out of the tool, we use the selection tool, and this is our second big key. The selection pointer is used to click and drag points. So I'm in my selection tool, and I can move point A around and point B around. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a line through A and B. I come to this tool here. I hover here and look at the bottom of the screen. It tells me to select 2 points or positions, and I'm going to do that, and it gets me the line. I'm going to select a point here on the curve, and I'm going to just do a simple little example where we have 2 angles in a linear pair, and we'll see that they are supplementary. Now I'm going to put a ray on here. I should click the starting point and then the point on the ray. And right now, I'm going to get out of the tool. Right now, it is labeling my rays. I usually don't like to have rays and segments labeled. So I like to just have points labeled. I come over here to my hamburger menu, and I come down here to settings, and the labeling. I do not like automatic labeling. I like new points only. So the next thing I'd like to show you is the next key The next key, the third key, is right-click for properties. This is very powerful. When you're doing the app on an iPad, it might be called settings. So I would like to not have this G showing for this particular ray. So I'm going to select this, I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go to settings. I guess it's even called settings here this time. And right here, I can do lots of things. I can change the color of it. I can do lots of things to this ray, but I'm going to uncheck the show label, and that takes away the label. You can also do that right here, show label, not show label. So right-clicking is very handy. So I have my two angles here. Now I'd like to measure these angles. The measurement tool is right here. I'm going to measure an angle, and once again, read your screen. I'm going to click 3 points or 2 lines. Interesting. So I'm going to click B, C, and D, and that gives me that angle that's 53.38. And I'm still in my tool. I'm going to keep measuring angles here, and that angle is 126.62. I definitely want to get out of my tool. Now, I don't think I really want to have alpha and beta there. So I'm going to go to my properties, which is sometimes called settings. And instead of showing the name and the value, I'm going to only show the value. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I'm looking at beta. I'm going to show the value. Next thing I'm going to do here for the purposes of this simple demonstration is I'm going to round these off. That's under the hamburger menu. I believe it's under settings. Yes, rounding is right here. I want 0 decimal places. And I can adjust these as I want to. Once again, right-clicking to get to properties or settings is very nice. You can change the color. If you want to make this go Western purple, for example, you can do that. And now this point D is purple. Maybe I want to make point B red. So I'll go to settings and color and make that red. I'm not sure why I'd want to do that, but I'm just demonstrating the possibilities. So now the student can experiment here. If they put this in a position so that we have 60, the other angle is 120. If we put this in a position at 75, we get 105. We can get 2 right angles here if we're careful. There's 90 and 90. All these points are manipulatable. The fourth big key is that there is a command line, and you can type in the command. So if we come back here, right over here is the input line. So right here is the input line, and you can just type a command and it'll tell you the syntax. So I need to have 2 points. So let's say, for example, I wanted to have line AD. Capital letters are the points, and there I have line AD. I'm not necessarily saying that that would be a good idea in this case, but I'm demonstrating the fourth big key, that the input or command line is useful. Our other document is the Quickstart guide here. This is from GeoGebra, and this is I think it's an 8-page document and maybe a 10-page document now, and has lots of nice things for you. Just a few more examples. Here is an example of a trapezoid, and I have the 2 diagonals in here, and interestingly enough, these 2 triangles here, if I show the label, it's showing the area of these. And it turns out that the area of these 2 triangles are the same, even though the triangles are not similar and the triangles are not congruent. Might be interesting to try to prove that. Here's an example where we're showing that the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. And maybe one more example from algebra. This one shows the slope is 1.8, and if I make this steeper, the line gets steeper. I can adjust my slope here. I can even have a slope of 0. I can have a -1 slope here. This is on a 45-degree angle going down, and the b value is going to be the y-intercept. Right now, the y-intercept is 3. We could use the text tool to put the equation on here, and that would be right on the screen. I hope you found this video helpful. I encourage you to go over to geogebra.org and do some graphing, do some experimenting. Have a great day.